Congressman Webster.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you all for coming. This is an awesome memorial, and thank Dale and his vision and others who have participated on the board and given money and been a part of this event. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for this church, First Baptist Church of Winter Garden, and Pastor Grosian, and for you allowing for this memorial to be here. I think it's a great thing. About 8 years ago, there was a lady that lived on this side of town. Her name was Stephanie Saber. And she came to me and to then Representative Randy Johnson and told us a story about what had happened to her and how she found out that if you have a child that's miscarried in the hospital, it's basically wrapped up in a bag and dumped in the trash. And so with no options, that was just it. So we thought about it and determined that it would take a piece of legislation to fix it. So we both filed one. I filed one in the Senate, he in the House, and it was a bill that basically said that every miscarried child, the option we given to the parents to have a funeral, so that there could be a closure and grieving over that child, and then there could be an end. And that bill ended up passing. It became the Saber Family Grieving Act of 2003. And I thought it was one of the best pieces of legislation I had. It's such a small little thing. It's short wording, but it certainly did a lot for those who have miscarriages. And then for my own personal experience, about 20 years ago, we had 5 children. My wife had never had a miscarriage, but she got pregnant, and during that time, it's a little bleeding, and then one day at home, she miscarried that child. And I remember taking that little child in my hands, and it was only a little girl, and kind of holding her up and saying, you know, this is not going to deter us. We want to have as many children as we possibly can. We'd love to have another daughter, and we dedicate our life to him, knowing that it was his will. Whatever his will is, that was what we carried. So we took that little baby and put it in a tin, took it out on the side of our house and dug a hole. We got our other children around it. We wanted them to understand that life is important, life is precious, and life is certainly something that should be honored. And although that child never took a breath, it was worth doing what we did. So we dug this hole, and we held hands together, a little family, our 5 children and myself and my wife, and we prayed, and then we stuck that little baby and we covered it over, and we planted a mulberry bush there. And you know what? I think that along with just like something like this brings a finality that's good. We grieved, we mourned, and then there was an end, and we pressed on. And it took a while, but Victoria came 4 years later, and we're so excited for her. That was our last child. Not sure why, it's just the way it worked out. And so we have 6, but I can tell you we had really more than that, because that child was a child, and it was a child at conception. And we were grateful for the lessons we learned. Her name was Hannah, and I remember her little sister saying, "Where's our Hannah?" And we could tell her she's in heaven. And I just think that there's a picture here that's going to be drawn by this memorial that's going to help those who have either had infants die or have had miscarriages and others. I think it's a picture to them that there can be a celebration of that life, but there also needs to be a finality and a moving on. And I'm so grateful for the people that have put this together and made this day possible. It's an awesome thing, and I think the community as a whole is going to benefit from this honoring of life. No matter when it starts, no matter when it ends, it needs to be valued. So thanks for letting me come today. I really appreciate it.